Hotep, my brothers and my sisters, I greet you in the ancient Kemetic language, which is Hotep, which means peace, and the Mandala, which means power, power to the people. We're going to have a good conversation on tonight. We have a powerful, husband and wife team, king and queen team on tonight. We have a powerful. Let me turn this down. I do this all the time. That's fine. Nothing's perfect. But those of you who will be watching tonight or this week or later on tonight, I want to welcome you. Those who may not know me, my name is James Anyabwile Wilson. I'm the spiritual teacher, aka Awakener of the God in Action Ministry Spiritual Podcast and I think podcast. All right. So we thank you once again, brothers and sisters. You know how to do it. Please share. Let somebody know that we're on tonight. We don't want nobody to miss this. Share with people that you love and you really care about. All right. That's not going to cost you a dime. All right, brothers and sisters. So we're gonna invite our brother and sister in so they can do their own thing on tonight. Let me see. You're in, right? Yep.
Hotep.
Yes, sir.
Hotep. All right, cool. Let me back up a little bit so I can get
back up a little bit. Come on, put it in reverse.
All right, if I can show the whole, I was gonna put it up. All right, good. Once again, brothers and sisters, we appreciate you coming in. We do not take your presence lightly when you do come in. All right, so once again, please share this with somebody, anybody, somebody, scream. We're gonna welcome our guests once again. Let's give them a hand. Give them both a hand on this evening, and I'm gonna let them come in and only introduce themselves. Let y'all know a little bit about them. All right, so we're going to first introduce to some, present to others, the one and only Dream husband and wife team, power team, sister Lisa Amari Travis and brother Izel Tybidi Travis in the house. Good brothers and sisters. Hey,
Hotep.
All right, Hotep to you, brother.
Hotep. Yes, sir. Right. How you doing this evening? King?
Doing well. We got a few people here. Please share it, y'all. Doing well. Hey, y'all, welcome once again. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Let the people know a little about yourself.
Man, well, Izel, for those that know me, grew up in New York City, Harlem, born and raised. Lived upstate for a couple years, relocated to Virginia, made my way to South Carolina, started off in the warehouse industry, ended up in trucking. That's my current career that I love. It's just an honor to be here on this evening. I'm with my wife, Lisa Travis, aka Amari. It's an honor to be here to share this platform with you, brother pastor. We give you honor because I can look back when I first met you around 20 years ago underneath your teaching, lost, trying to figure out how to be a man, a better father. So I say all that to say, I mean, it's an honor to be here, to be on your platform, to share and to experience some things that I have learned being underneath your leadership, and also venturing on my own to expand my horizon, to expand my mind, to open up my mind and to learn from experience, from things that I've been through and things that I'm currently going through. So it's an honor to be here to share this, to uplift and bring some clarity to our people, but all people in particular, but our people in particular, to just open their mind to some things that we deal with on a daily basis. Go ahead, Queen. Anything to add to that?
Not really, just a little bit. I'm Lisa Amari Travis. I am definitely South Carolina country, born and raised. I'm from South Carolina. This is a new experience for me. I don't really talk in front of public crowds or anything like that. But I'm glad to share this experience with you guys and hope that you learn something from it today.
Ashe. And though she said they're new actors, they had done some lessons on their own platform
Yes, sir.
some time back and did very well. Did very, very, very well. So we appreciate you being on, both of you, for accepting this invitation and being a part of the Guillaume family. Also, got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Well, tonight, the subject tonight is emotions versus intelligence.
Yes, sir.
Emotions versus intelligence. That's a heavyweight
yes, sir.
topic.
Yes, sir.
How did y'all come up with that topic?
It's just daily experience, daily situations, going through things in life, self-examination, just examining where we are and dealing with daily issues, people, places, things. As you go through life, you have to distinguish, your emotions, be able to have balance, experience your emotions, and intelligence. You have to be able to separate that. And a lot of us fail because we let our emotions supersede our intelligence. So we react before we think. So if we learn to think before we react, we can resolve a lot of our issues. We can prevent a lot of things from happening. So that's how we basically came up with this topic. Is just, every day you deal with similarity things where you have to, that's life. You have to be able to balance your emotions. As we know, when you get too emotional, you miss out on the potential things that you could be keeping in check, that you can, we lose out on a lot, relationships, family, finances, things like that. And those are the couple of bullets we're going to be hitting. Yeah. When you're not thinking with the intellectual mindset, and you get to emotion, you wind up doing things that you regret later on.
Yeah, it's not to say those things won't happen or you won't. Like I said, those things. It's not to say those things won't happen, but you kind of soften the blow when you think about the things you're going to do before you actually do it.
Sure.
Okay. I'm a witness.
Sure. Yes, sir.
Still working on it. I see brother Navek, Blessings King, brother Kiamu, Blessings King, brother Kamal, Blessings brother King.
The hotel.
I say if anybody else is on, I don't see your name. Blessings to you too if you're on another platform. So, all right, brothers and sisters, we're gonna just let y'all do what you do. All right. The floor is yours, the way you want to do it. And Ashe.
So like I said, this topic came apart. Like I said, we can also relate to my previous experience. I did a little brief live on our platform last week with a encounter with a associate at a truck stop that I had to deal with, on a daily basis, and this individual that don't know me from anywhere, and I don't know them, couldn't care less to know them, but we dealing in a business mindset. We're trying to be professional. So when we out there, that's one thing we got to learn, that we have to learn how to separate our personal life from our business life. And a lot of people don't know how to do that. Well, just to sum it up, I ran into an encounter where this, dealing with this person, Daddy, like I said, I'm always picking up a load from this company. And this one individual, she was just at this point, I've had several dealings with her, but never like this. And she was very rude and disrespectful. And right there, I had to stop and think before I reacted. Now, if I acted off emotions due to the way that she approached me with an angry attitude, I probably wouldn't be here right now, having this conversation. So that's where we have to say, we have to have that balance. It's a time and a place for everything. And that split second that I decide to say, well, you know what, I'm going to be just as emotional as she is. I'm going to, the same way she's talking to me, I'm going to talk to her, but we know the outcome from there, as we know, a saying, you say, hey, violence, respect violence, right? So in this sense, it sounds destructive. So I know how to be destructive from where I come from. So I had to say, you know what, this is not the time for this. This is my job. This is my career. This is how I feed my family. So the intellectual had to come in place to understand this person is not personal. This person had to be dealing with some personal issues outside of me. But it took for me to come into play at this time for this fire to ignite in her, you know. So it took off from there. Well, needs to say, you know, it was dealt with. And I thought about it, you know, I had to think, and we resolved it. You know, I talked to her manager and we got over it. Well, we moved forward. I thought about Sunday, you know, when you came on live and we talked about put it out and keep it out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it makes a lot of sense because a lot of us don't know how to keep it out. Well, after we put it out, because we're so emotional attached to it. And we look at the definition of emotions, right? Emotional is characterized by an intense feeling, dealing with several situations. We have relationships, we have finances, we have religion, we have marriage, we have injustice situations, you know. So emotions deals with a lot of daily life issues, encounters that we have. And then we look at the word intelligence. What does that mean to us? Well, it's the ability to obtain the skill to utilize the knowledge, the God-given knowledge that's placed upon us. But because of situations, if you don't have any balance, you don't know how to distinguish, you don't know how to navigate between emotions and imbalance and intelligence. Intelligence. So let's take this thing back. I've come to the conclusion of understanding of life experience of emotional state of being in our lives. We deal with childhood trauma. You may say, brother, you know, why would you bring up childhood trauma? Well, let's go back. You know, let's take it from being adult. Let's rewind this thing. Let's deal with childhood trauma. When we dealing with childhood trauma, we got to look at verbal abuse. We got to look at physical abuse. We got to look at mental abuse. Wait a minute. We got to look at sexual abuse. You understand what I'm saying? We have to take a look at ain't no daddy at home. Mommy rarely come home. You understand what I'm saying? We got to look at different men that's in and out of our life. I mean, we can relate to this thing. We got to look at how many men that mommy has in and out of her life. So at the point of time of being a child, we don't know how to use the intellectual skills and distinguish what's right or what's wrong, unless we're taught what's right or what's wrong. But at an early age, all we know is to grab on to what we see, what we hear. So what we see and what we hear allow us to grow into saying, this is all we know, not just knowing this is what I believe a father figure look like in and out of my life. A mother figure looks like in and out of my life. Getting my behind whooped for no reason, you know. Uncle in the other room raping my sister. You understand what I'm saying? So there's a lot of emotions attached to us as children. And if we don't get this thing checked, we tend to carry this on into our adulthood, right? So now we fast forward into moving into our adulthood. We deal with relationships, right? What do we have to build off in a relationship besides what we see? What we believe that picture looks like as an adult, what we seen. Well, we go back to it. We got abuse, we got mental, physical, emotional, sexual. You understand what I'm saying?
We got traumas back into your adulthood from your childhood.
We got neglect. So now when we get into a relationship, family, then it doesn't make it no better, because now as we growing, we have family issues. We have family abandonment, family lying on you, family neglecting you. You know, family don't want nothing to do with you because of your upbringing, or just the loss
or their upbringing.
Yes, or just the loss of someone where it tears the family apart. So we carry this emotion. So it hasn't just started within the adulthood, right? We have to go back, self-examination, right? We have to go back and see, how did we get here? Right? So we end up dealing with relationships. We get involved in a relationship with a woman, or a woman get involved with a man, vice versa, same difference. And we tend not unconsciously knowing that we inherit these behaviors, right, from our upbringing. So we don't know how to be a good husband, a good father. We have this picture painted. We assume, we believe, based on what somebody might have told us from the streets or wherever, or reading a book. We believe, we haven't researched, we haven't achieved the skill, right, to obtain the knowledge to say, hey, I know how to be a better man, a better father. Who's teaching you? Who's leading you, right? So this thing that we carry into our relationship, we don't realize that we're dealing with it on an emotional level, right? So we come into a relationship, man and woman, not knowing how to be, only reacting of what we seen. So we come into this life situation and we try to build relationships, and it's abusive. It's verbally abusive. It's physically abusive. But your emotions won't allow you to detach from it.
Because that's all you know.
Because that's all you know. So we fail to use the intellectual part of it and say, wait a minute, this thing is bad for our health. Emotional wise, what do I do without him or her? How do I make it? Where do I go from here? This is all I know. If he leave, what do I do? So we're dealing with emotions. But at what time do intelligence kick in to say, man, I'm tired of going to bed with a black eye. This ain't right. It don't feel right. It's a 9 times 10. If it don't look right, it ain't right. If it don't feel right, it ain't right, right? So we deal with these relationships based on emotions because this is all we know. Mommy always broke up to make up. It was unhealthy. Daddy was never home, but it was okay. He brung home the bread. That's not. It's more to it than that. But on the emotional set, that's all we know. We don't know how to depart based on intelligence because we haven't been taught properly, right? So we wind up in a situation that's unhealthy for years and years and years. Like you said, you brought this story to the forefront where the woman, when she decided to let go, her intellectual skills kicked in, the knowledge to understand this thing ain't bad, and the man come around. It happens to this day. I mean, we dealing with, whether the story happened now or then, we're dealing with this now, right? You have women and men dealing in situations based on love, what he can do for me, how much money he got, how nice his car is, how big his house is. But we don't use the skill to say, wait a minute, what's up here? What's up here in his mind? Let's get away from the symbolism. Let's deal with the mentality. What's here? Until we start digging into relationships based on what's here, we are always going to be into that emotional state of mind, saying, hey, well, I've never had, a man give me, I never had a father give me so much money. I never had a nice car. I never had a big house. I never had all these things that you are able, with the knowledge and understanding, you are able to obtain these things just as well as that man or that woman, if you use them intellectual skills and stop dealing with emotions. So it's deep. I mean, what
I took from what you just said is that I just remember growing up from being a child and seeing my older grandparents and my mom or whatever. I remember them just accepting whatever the man dished out. Whatever he said is what went, whether they had an opinion about it or not. If they
Mhm.
didn't like it, that's what they went with. And I think that's how some of the women today, how they get to be the way that they are. They don't have an opinion, and though all those emotions over time, it actually builds up. And not having an opinion about something, it doesn't. You don't think that it's wrong. You just see it as right because your parents did it, your grandparents did it, and you just see it as the right thing to do or the way to accept things. But growing up, you start to see different families and different people portray different lives and different relationships, and know that you can start to see that those relationships are unhealthy.
Mhm.
So at that point, I would say that people growing up, as far as relationships and childhood trauma, it's a great idea to just network with people and get to know other families outside your own family so you can see what normal actually looks like, because
Mm.
you don't know what normal looks like if you're stuck in trauma, and we can be stuck that way for a long time. And
Mhm.
me myself personally, I can say that I think I've shared this with you before, that I used to be married before. And my ex, he was not abusive. He was not that type of person. It was just whatever he said is what I went with. It's not that I didn't have an opinion. I just thought that was the right thing to do. And I think that it passed along to my children. They saw me, mommy, you didn't say anything. You just accepted whatever. But there was a point where I could not accept anything else.
Mm.
I got to that intellect kicked in when I got tired of being the woman staying at home, the good wife, doing this, that, and the third, while the man ran the streets. I was tired of that. So my
Mm.
intellect kicked in. So I'm out. Like that was on it happened years ago, but it happened for years and I just chose to stay. But after a certain point, I got tired of it. I can remember it like it was yesterday. It was on a Friday. I had the last of it. On that Monday, I was no longer in the home. I was done. So, I mean, when it happens, when it actually kicks in, when your intellect kicks in, you'll definitely know that
Mhm.
it's over. It's time to change.
Mhm.
That's deep. I mean, that's a deep, to be able to share something like that. I can relate to that. And we look at marriages now, we can kind of look at dealing with this topic. Why are black marriages falling apart? Let's deal with us, because I mean, we can only deal with us because we know we know about us. I mean, we can't really deal with any other race because we don't understand it. We understand us as black people, but we got to look at why is black marriages falling apart. We don't really have all the answers, but it goes back to, like I was saying again, that emotional state of being, that he loves me regardless of how much he put his hands on me. You know,
Mm.
we have fell to. I mean, you hear women say, you hear women say, "Hey, I don't mind if he got another man." I mean, if he well, that too. I mean, it's Adam and Steve going on too. But anyway, I mean, but we hear women say, "Hey, I'm okay if he have
Mm.
another woman as long as he come home to me." You see what I'm saying? We have failed to accept any old thing. They say, when you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And that's where we at right now. Accepting. We got the media showing, reality TV. You know, reality ain't us. I mean, that's this current reality now. That's the way they portray us, of hoochie mamas, niggers,
Mhm.
bees, hoes, twerking, so on and so on, So it's a ugly picture painted of black people culture to kind of it takes away from where we really who we really are. So
Mhm.
we believe that as long as that man comes home to us every night and bring home the money, whether he's faithful, so what, he's abusive, there's infidelity, he don't take care of his family, but as long as he come home every now and then where I'm comfortable, emotionally because I love him. You know, regardless of what he do, I love him. I'm not going anywhere, or vice versa. You know, I love her. I don't care if she got another man on the side. This is what we, and this is fact. This is what we accept at this point. You know why? Because I was once there.
Mm.
You know, I was once in that state of mind dealing with emotion because, you know, I had the I don't want to be alone complex. You know, I don't want to be without complex. You know, I seen what it was like to be without, you know, to be in the house by yourself. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not afraid to take ownership and say, I am a victim of an emotional state of mind. You know, before I got older and had to come underneath leadership and get a better understand, somebody to teach me that it's okay, you know, to be alone and to deal into foolishness.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the ability to obtain the knowledge, and sometimes it takes the right leadership. It takes the right person in your life to say, listen, wake up, brother. Wake up, sister. This is very unhealthy. But if those issues go unchecked, as they did for so many years, I mean, 20 plus years, almost 30 years, unchecked. This is what we're dealing with, right? Unchecked, right? The emotionalism kick in. Well, every time you break up with somebody, you got another woman. You had no time to heal. You know, every time something happened, you know, you want to go shopping. You need to do this, you need to do that. You don't have no time to gather your thoughts because everything is emotion. You're hurting. Unchecked issues, unchecked emotionalism can be a killer. It goes unchecked. So on the intelligent part, is like I said, a lot of this has to be, you have to be taught, you have to be trained. I mean, if you don't know, you can't grow. You need somebody in place. I definitely agree with that. I mean, I stand on that. You know, a lot of us can't do this on our own. I don't feel like any of us should be able to have to deal with these issues on our own. But a lot of us are afraid to admit that I'm stuck in an emotional state of mind. You know, I don't know what to do. A lot of us are afraid to admit that I've been dealing with these things for so long. What do I do? Where do I go? You know, so now let's roll down. You don't have any skills. We have the skills embedded. So I truly know, I believe, and I understand that God didn't create us not to have a mind. We have a mind of our own. He created us with a powerful mind, especially Black people. With the melanin in us, we are created to be strong people. We just don't utilize what we have, right? Then we run into the finance, right? So we drag
before you
Yes,
move to the finances, may I interject with the relationship before you move on?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, what you shared was very important about growing up, the experiences in the household. That's our foundation.
Yes, sir.
As it was being said, the most important, because I studied human development in school, but the most important years of a child's life is the first 3 to 5 years. And after those 3 years, their foundation's already built, cemented, and hardened.
Yes, sir.
And from there, everything is built on top of that. So the first 3 to 5 years, so what that child, or what we have seen in those years, right? You say emotionalism, conversations. How do they deal with it? Issues that problems in the house. How do they deal with it? Emotionally or intellectually? Intelligently, or you know what I'm saying, or emotionally. And like you said, like y'all already stated, we can't expect someone to do what they have not been taught.
Yes, sir.
So what we saw, our environment is definitely key. And I know that I can say I didn't have a perfect environment. And also that environment, as you all were saying, correct me if I'm wrong, once that is established as that 3 to 5 years in the environment, it can affect every area of your life.
Yes, sir.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's deep. And one more thing, we said reality TV.
Yes, sir.
right? We didn't really look at it. What is it? A whole bunch of drama,
Yes, sir.
chaos. You know what I'm saying? Cursing, fighting, cursing each other out.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Dysfunction. All emotionalism.
Yes, sir.
And that has become the norm now
Yes, sir.
when it comes to our people. You know what I'm saying? I said, so I just wanted to throw that out there. I appreciate y'all sharing that. That foundational piece is definitely key.
Yes,
it does affect every area in our life.
Yes, sir. Ashe. So, you know, as we roll into it, we get deep into it. I mean, we can look at, you know, we connect our finances to our part of our emotionalism, you know, our spending habits. So a lot of us, once again, we spend out of hurt, you know, we spend out of, you know, depression, you know, trying to keep up with the Joneses, right? Which I would like to know who's the Joneses, because evidently the Joneses is wealthy people if they're spending like they're spending. But once again, we go broke for the Joneses, you know. So, and that's what we do. And a lot of it is because, you know, what do I do? You know, I'm looking for love. I don't have it. I don't have a man. I don't have a happy home. You know, I got a good job. You know, I'm on the plantation. I got a good job. You know, I don't have nothing else going, so I might as well spend it up.
But you spending money, you're still sad.
And you're still sad. You see what I'm saying? Your spending habits are terrible, and you're still unhappy. You have all this stuff. Like my wife used to, I mean, she said something. We was talking about something last week, and she said, you know, people always trying to sprinkle glitter on shit. You know, and I started laughing, you know, because we talk like this. I mean, let's keep it real. This is a conversation, right? True. And I said, you know what, honey? I said, you know what? No matter,
it's still saying it's just sparkling.
You can taste when you can taste it. It's gonna taste like it. It smell like it, and no matter how much you try to change it, it still ain't shit. So I mean, I'm just, you know, just keeping it real. I mean, that's how we live in. But if we stop to think the amount of money we spend through emotionalism, I mean, on, you know, just stupid stuff. You know, every time we turn around, you know, a lot of us, I mean, I take, you know, you work hard, you deserve to have, you know, toys. You deserve to have the things you worked hard for. I mean, what's the sense of working hard, not being able to enjoy your life? But a lot of times we spend on just because. We deal with intellectual, we can be investing that. You know, we're spending time, spending money on being sad and depressed because there's no other outlet, not because there's no one else to turn to. We choose not to. So we use our money as an outlet. But why are we not utilizing it intellectually to build something for ourselves? Say, you know what, I have a bad relationship, but maybe let me build a school to educate other children that's coming behind me, to give them a better understanding of what and what not to do. Let us build a supermarket. Let us open up a doctor's office. Let me do other things with my money besides spending out of hurt.
It's a process. It takes time because most people only do what their parents have done.
Okay.
It's a process, and it goes to, well, it actually takes you losing something, like your car being repossessed, or you losing your house or being evicted. It takes something to make you think differently.
So would you say that when people go on these spending sprees, we become great consumers, very materialistic, and people who go out there to when they buy certain, they feel a certain way, these emotions again. So would you say that people who are big time consumers, they go out to spending and they use that as a Novocaine or numbing agent to really deal with the deeper emotions that the person have? Would you say that?
Yes, it's a temporary satisfaction, is what it is.
Okay. And we you know, we could let's look at holidays. I mean, how many parents, you know, emotional distraught because they can't buy their children. I mean, they take care of their children 365 days a year.
Mm-hmm.
The 25th come and everyone is emotional. I got to work 50 hours. I was there.
December.
I need to work a certain amount of hours so I can provide for my child. Easter come, he needs a new outfit. You understand what I'm saying? Christmas is here. We need a room full of gifts. Now, I didn't gave my child everything all year, but mostly, you know, when these man-made holidays come into play, we get the crying, you know, we get the sacrifice. The lights get turned off the 26th, but we got a house full of gifts on the 25th. Right now, we crying about, you know, the lights getting. You see what I'm saying? So we don't think that out of 365 days, this man-made holiday happens one time, and this one time I have to go all out.
And we repeat the same cycle every
year. I have to promise my child something that's fictitious, and a lot of times it's to satisfy my inner child because I never had it. See what I'm saying? You know, a lot of times I'm satisfying me seeing little Ray with everything is because I never had everything. You see what I'm saying? You know, me buying new outfits, you know, me being able to provide a big Thanksgiving dinner. I mean, shoot, you grew up for neck bones and black eyed peas all your life. Now Thanksgiving, you so, you know, mentally destroyed emotionally because you can't provide a turkey. But in reality, on the intelligent side, we have to put those days aside and say, you know what? This is not happening the way you expect it to happen, but we created that mess. But the thing is, I know this, not that I believe this. I know that I'm a good parent. I know that I'm a good father. I take care of you every day. You are not even half of these children to these even adults ain't capable of taking care of their own self, right? So why get caught up in the emotions of I can't do this and I can't, Christmas coming up, this holiday coming up. And this is what we're dealing with now. I mean, this is current events with families. I mean, Valentine's Day, damn, if I don't get no roses, you got to get out. You know, you got the woman waiting at the door with her hands out for a box of chocolates that's going to run her diabetes up. But this is because, you know, this is to satisfy those cravings. Mommy never got me any Valentines. Daddy wasn't there to tell me he loved me. So therefore, you as my husband, my boo, where's my flowers? And to ensure that you have those gifts, your bags is packed. I mean, it's either we enjoy this holiday that I embrace every year, even though, you know, he might genuinely love you every year. If we don't embrace this thing, you got to go. You see what I'm saying? Emotionalism kicks in. But on the intellectual, what you mean to tell me you're going to let one day ruin the fact that I'm your husband every day? You let one day, you know, so I mean, it's deep, man.
You know, and when I think about consumerism too, when there are certain, these are scientists who study us, study people, right? And they know how to trigger certain emotions, but through commercials. I could have ate a big meal. They throw on some McDonald's. I want to get me a McDonald's. I ain't even hungry. Let me go get me a hamburger. You know what I'm saying? So they have scientists who study us, know how to trigger certain emotions. And I said it to say this: when it comes to consumerism, have you noticed when you go to the supermarket or the clothing store, what do they play? What do you hear? Music. They play music. You think about it, and the music is designed to make you feel you whistling with it, you feeling good. You know what I'm saying? Going through the aisle, picking this out, and you know, you just get outside and say, what the heck did I just do? You know what I'm saying? They use that music to trigger certain emotions to get people to spend more than they intend to spend.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And sometimes they get you first. Sometimes they get you as soon as you get on the elevator elevator music before you get to the place, you know?
Yes, sir.
So yeah, man. Yeah. So things play off our emotions because it's profitable, but it's profitable for them, as you're saying, if we're operating in emotions, is not profitable or beneficial for us, but is profitable and beneficial if we use our intelligence.
Yes, sir. Ashe. Absolutely.
I see one of the viewers said we want our kids to have more. And I guess you mean more than what we ever had. It doesn't mean you got to stress yourself out to do it or run yourself raggedy trying to get it. You don't spend your bill money trying to make your kid happy, because at the end of the day, all of y'all going to be in the dark and nobody's happy.
Exactly. Yep. Emotional again.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. So it ties into thinking before we react, prioritizing. Like I said, it's nothing wrong with, if that's what you do, enjoying the holiday. Take nothing from whoever celebrates or however you celebrate, but prioritize and say, hey, it's always tomorrow. And like I said, because we are so emotional attached to, sometimes because we didn't have it, because you hear a lot of parents, it's my job to do for you what wasn't done for me. It's my job to try to be a better parent, and hey, to each his own, but understanding there's always tomorrow. You have bills to pay, you have other obligations. It's not just about the holiday. It's not, what I'm saying? You have to distinguish, hey, if I do, or maybe you have a plan. Well, I know that if I spend my last today, I know how I'm able to regain it tomorrow. If you have a plan, hey, to each his own. But if you don't, in these cases, a lot of people don't. It's just, hey, it's the time of the year. And I'm not just going to stay on holidays. It's what it is. I mean, I don't, what else I got going on? I might as well go give it to Macy's, JC Penney's, Walmart, extra, not just what you need, but outside of what you need. It's that extra. I got to have it. I got to have it. I got to have it. Not I got to have it. I got to have it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That a lot of times we don't even know we have a bad financial habit, but a lot of times it's attached to, like I said, when I grew up, I didn't have it. I speak for myself. Growing up, I didn't have it. So when I hit the streets, because based on what I didn't have, what my mother, what I thought, when I felt she could have did better in the financial area, that not understanding intellectually that she didn't have it, but me as a child looking at everybody else running around outside of me, hey, why they got this, why they got that, and I don't have it. So as I grew up, the emotional part is me is, hey, I need to do something to get it. I'm 17, 18 years old, but still emotional because, hey, when I was young, I ain't have what everybody else had. So when I hit the streets and start selling crack, I was getting it. I had to buy it. I had to have it. And a lot of times I had more than what I expected to have. I had to the point where I was giving stuff away or stuff got destroyed. I wasn't no big time dude. I'm not going to sit here, but the money that I started obtaining, it was a part of me saying, hey, when I was a child, I didn't have it. So I needed 2 and 3 and 4 pairs of sneakers, several leather jackets. It's people around here only got 1 coat, 1 pair of shoes. But because I grew up, with that emotional state of mind, I didn't have it then. I'm going to get it now. And
it's with those same emotions that women, when they're off on their own or they're single parents, it's those type of emotions that have them wanting to get their kids everything. Those same emotions make them sleep with men to get the money to get their kids everything. And it's a lot of that going around. Yes, a lot of it.
Wow, that's deep. Ashe. And then we look for respect, but that start within. We got to look at, well, what am I doing to love and respect myself before I inquire respect from someone else? What am I doing to display righteousness within myself? Because my ways of life, like you said, has been, hey, I need to do by any means necessary, if that's sleeping around, to provide. That's what I'm going to do. based on, hey, I don't know how to get it no other way because
It's
we're not
about-
using this.
And it's not about feelings at that point. It's just
Mhm.
about getting what you want to get.
Mm.
It's not even about feelings. It's just getting whatever you need to do, whatever need to be done. Even if it's just to pay a light bill, make a car payment. They're just sleeping with whoever and whatever just so it can get done.
But and you're right. I agree 100%. But feelings is the trigger.
Oh yes,
Yes, sir.
definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Feelings is definitely. You're right.
Yeah, because once you have a desire in you, you'll find any way, if there's a will is a way, to fulfill that desire.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So yes, I mean we're on the same page. I was just the same.
yeah.
So it
Yes,
starts
sir.
off
Yes,
with feelings, but then like you at the end of the day, how you gonna feel afterwards?
That's
It's
right.
feelings, but it ain't no feelings.
You know what I'm
That's what
saying?
it is.
Unless you just a straight up narcissist, you got no feelings.
That's
You
right.
gonna come up that thing and say, "Who the heck did I just sleep with?
Yes,
I
sir.
just gave myself away." You know what I'm saying? Now how they gonna look at me?
Yes, sir.
If somebody don't think that way, there's something,
But then you got men that don't feel no type of way. They back the next day knocking on the door trying to know if they can get more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a notch in the belt.
It's like that now.
Yeah. Well, what got them knocking on the door is that feeling.
Mhm, that feeling,
Knock those boots, and he got some feelings, boy. Like we go back and shoot, man.
Got them snacks, the midnight snacks.
Yeah.
Wow, man, that's
But yes.
deep though, But like you say, if you don't know, you can't grow. So a lot of us men, we don't know. Like I said, I mean, we can keep on going back. It's just what we know. I mean, this is all we know. This is the only thing we have to go build off. Mommy or daddy was always with someone else. We don't know what real manhood looks like because emotional wise, that's all we got to see. Ain't nobody came in to redirect us. Who's the role models nowadays? Hip hop TV shows, things like that. They don't. It's not about what's here. It's about what's here. How much money can we make to entertain this mess? How much money, how much revenue is coming in from entertainment? It doesn't matter who lives we're destroying, who homes we're breaking up. It's about revenue, gain. We couldn't care less what you going through, what I'm saying, outside. But emotionally, we get attached to that fake stuff, that hip hop life, that, and half of them people probably don't even live the life they portraying. You understand what I'm saying? But they got us on, hyped, getting all riled up, bad BTV, running around here crazy minded, not using this, doing everything they seen on TV, but not realize, wait a minute, I'm valuable, right? Going into the mind, tapping into the cranium. I'm valuable. I'm worth more than what they're portraying on TV. You understand what I'm saying? At what point does that kick in? But at where we at now, it hasn't. It haven't. And we look at what's going on around us.
Yeah, I can't speak from a man's point of view, but I can tell you more from a woman or female's point of view is that most of the time with us is when we start to see our children following in our footsteps, doing the same things or making the same mistakes that we've made. It makes us want to change and show them that there's a better life, that there's something else that they could be doing more positive.
Okay. And saying that's a good point, because you hear it's some valid to it. I mean, I can understand in some sort of way of a parent saying, I want my child to be just like me. You hear that, right? And a lot of times you don't even know who you are. So how do you want something that you created, you brought into this world, to be like you when you don't even know who you are? When you don't have the you have the capability, but you're not leading in an understandable fashion, with intelligence, with balance, with understanding, everything is crazy. You all over the place. You're unstable. Your mind ain't right. You're stressed out, but you want to raise your child to be just like you.
Mm.
And you haven't even got your issues, your emotional issues in check. So we create something, right? A lot of us have children, because we want to show that love we haven't received, but don't understand what the real love looks like. So we raise a duplicate of what we are to carry on this mess, this unstable psychological, emotional damage that we already went through, this trauma.
Another dysfunctional body.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep. Go back to the foundation you laid. It's about the environment we grew up in.
Yes, sir.
That generation taught that little babies and that.
Yes, sir.
And them babies grew up and had some babies, and that grew up and had us. And, you know what I'm saying? So,
yes, sir.
yeah, it's as y'all was. Did I cut you off, sis?
No. You good? Come on.
No, did I cut sister? Was she gonna say something?
No.
You're good.
What came to mind is like as adults, right? Some things we can expect children to go through emotionally, like in an immature way, but we adults, right? And we are operating as if we are children. And it reminds me of the different stages that a person goes through. And I think a lot of us are chronologically adults, but emotionally stuck in infant stage and adolescent stage. Because one thing about an infant and adolescence, they throw tantrums. The infant want to get their diaper changed when they want it changed. I don't care what time it is. I want to eat when I want to eat. When I want to eat, I don't care what you're doing.
Right.
That's right.
When you go to another stage, the adolescence, they just throwing tantrums. And I think a lot of us are caught in those emotional steps and have not reached adulthood in our emotions yet. I think that's why a lot of us are. I just thought about that.
That's right.
Yep.
So
I agree. Mostly when they throw those tantrums, they're used to things going their way when they do that.
Yes.
They keep doing it.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
And that happens in our adult relationships. You know what I'm saying? A lot of marriages. I hope I ain't going too ahead of y'all. Just a relationships.
No, you're good.
No, we good. We in it.
A lot of marriages are destroyed because everybody want what they want and not really considering the next, what the next person wants. You know what I'm saying? I want what I want. The hell with you. I want what I want. The hell with you. But we can't make it. That emotionalism. It's the intelligence that says, okay, let's meet each other halfway.
That's right.
Give a little this, you give me a little that, and whatever else we don't have, we'll work on getting it.
Yes, sir.
That's the intelligent way of doing it,
If we can't meet in the middle, we ain't getting it. Neither one of us getting
exactly. Not right now. And then the person who's immature, no, I'm gonna get I want mine now.
Yes, sir. That's right.
So I just thought about that, man. Hope I ain't cut y'all off.
No, you good. You good, man. You good. Good dialogue on this evening. But so we grow, we learn, we kind of detach from most of our emotions. Then boom, we start dealing in religion. We start dealing in religion. And as we know, religion don't teach us how to think. They teach us what to think. Okay. You understand what I'm saying? So we deal with religion based on emotions. We go to church and we get emotional. We hallelujah. We praise dance. And not bashing. Whoever into whatever. Christianity, Baptist, whatever. But we dealing with intelligence based on emotions. Right. And a lot of us get emotional when we're dealing with religion, because we go to church. A lot of us don't go to church to, as the Bible say, don't just be hearers of the word, be doers of the word. We go for the hype, right? We go for the music. We go to gossip. We go to see who got the flyers suit on, or what woman gonna come in there with the tight skirt. I mean, I've been there now. I mean, I can relate to this. I mean, because I was once there, in the house of the Lord looking for a shorty. I mean, hey, I'm that it was me. I'm not pointing. I'm not here to point the finger. I'm talking about me. You know, we end up in church emotionalized because we've been hurt, not healing at all, because a lot of times we leave the church the same way we came in. But we got a hype. We got a dose of hypeness. You understand what I'm saying? We got a dose of emotionalness because they say, what's that scripture? Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. Right? So we have faith hoping that things are changed within us, you know, in the name of Jesus, but we ain't trying to make no change. Intellectually, we saying, hey, you know, emotionally, we waiting for the change, but intellectually, we ain't trying to make any change. So once again, we get emotional, you know, when it's time to worship, it's time to praise, it's time, but we don't get emotional enough to have constructive, complete change within us, using our God-given mind to say, hey, okay, I'm here to receive whatever is given, but I don't know how to apply it to my everyday life. So there has to be some type of disconnect. Maybe there's a disconnect in who we're following, who's leading us based on religion, because they're not teaching us, like I said, how to think. They're teaching us what to think. You know, that
yes, sir.
That one day, you know, our Savior is going to fix everything. But you see several scriptures where you have scripture text saying, hey, basically, pick up your bed and walk. Basically, do it yourself. I give you the power. I have given you the power to trample over all scorpions. Intellectually, I'm telling you.
Not that I'm going to do it for you.
Yes.
I'm going to put the power within you for you to do it.
He who is in me is greater than he who's in the world. I'm telling you that with me, all things are possible. So emotionally, we're sitting and we're waiting for something that's not going to happen unless we get up off our tail and do it ourselves.
But we never know if we're equipped to do it because we don't even try.
And this goes into saving our money, relationships, marriages. We're waiting, we're hoping through faith that things get better, that one day this man or woman will stop disrespecting me or stop blacking my eyes. In faith, we're trusting because we haven't seen it yet. Right? In faith, we're waiting for this to stop. But how can it ever stop if the person that's doing it don't understand what he or she is doing wrong? But we're waiting in faith. We're praying in faith because even though we haven't seen it yet, but one day I believe, I don't know this, but I believe it's going to change. And then what happens? Boom, we're burying a loved one. You understand what I'm saying? Things are happening because we waited too long to take the initial steps to change it within us, the God that's in us, but based on our belief system, right? We're waiting for this change. And that's where religion has a lot of us, Pastor. It has us believing that if I just sit around a little longer, things will get better. Your lights are still off. Your car ain't get paid for. You're hungry as hell. You know, you're cold as hell. Ain't no heat. You understand? You're broke as hell because you've been spending based on your old emotions, but we're still waiting. We're waiting on the Lord. And that's a bad way to be. I thank God that my lead ain't like that, bro. I don't know where I'll be.
You know, and I think the reason why, just hearing Queen, I'm sorry. Yeah, Queen,
you did not cut me off. You're good.
Okay. I don't want to like interrupt or anything like that. What comes to my mind, like you talk about religion, right? Religion is doing what religions do.
Yes,
it's designed to emotionalize you. That's how to get the money out of you. That's how you have you come into a place where you're not going to be challenged. They're going to make you feel good, you know. And like you said, you got people waiting. Something about to happen. Something about to happen. I feel it. I feel it. And God, and it's use some scripture. This ain't no Bible study, y'all, but use some scripture. The scripture says, "Those who worship God most worship God in spirit
And
and in truth, not religion and in truth. Because when you're religious, you're emotional, you're all over the place. How the heck you gonna be able to sit down and hear information that you need to apply to change your life? You know what I'm saying? And when you look at the definition of intelligence, is another definition. It says acquire and apply knowledge.
Yes, sir. Ashe.
You can't dance this thing into existence.
That's right.
You can't speak in you go, I feel it. You can't do that until it says acquiring knowledge and applying that knowledge. That's intelligence, using your intelligence. And like y'all said, God gave that to us.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to do it for you, but I'll work through you.
That's right. Ashe.
You know what I'm saying? Because one more thing, because people don't read this according to the story. You know what I'm saying? Just according to the story, it says Jesus was talking about the African revolutionary he said, everything that I say and everything that I do is the Father in me doing it.
That's right.
Nobody don't read that.
That's right.
They skip past that.
Yeah, because it will debunk everything else. He said, "Is the Father in me doing these things? It's not I myself."
That's right.
So just want to throw that out there, man. Yes, and sister.
Yes, sir. Well, yes, sir, man. I mean, it's we can approach this thing at so many different levels. You know, we take a look at what we'll call in racial justice. I mean, police and justice. You know, we look at police.
Before you go there, brothers and sisters, those of you who are watching, or maybe watching later on, they dealing with the topic emotions versus intelligence.
Yes, sir.
It's the topic they've been dealing with: emotions versus intelligence. If you just came in or watch it later on, don't know what we're talking about. Ashe. Sorry, go ahead, brothers and sisters.
So, what we labeled as what we just said, we was talking about injustice,
police injustice.
You know, on the emotional level, a lot of us we don't know our rights. I mean, in this case, I mean, some cases it doesn't even matter what you know. I mean, the law is the law. I mean, you have some good cops and some bad cops, but when dealing with these cops, whether they're good or bad, we don't know until they approach us. You have to have some type of intelligence, knowing your rights, respecting the law, you know, doing. You still there?
He put us on big screen.
Doing the right thing. And a lot of us end up in situations where we wind up doing time for being emotional, you know, getting pulled over, getting stopped, getting into sometime in the wrong place, the right place at the wrong time, or vice versa, the wrong place at the right time, however way you want to label it. We end up doing time or getting or having to deal with a consequence based on our emotions, you know. And a lot of times it's not about emotion. A lot of times, like I said, you have some cops that couldn't give two hecks about who you are. You know, just maybe they're having a bad day and their day become your day. But like I said, a lot of times I see where, you might have a civilized cop and you might have an individual that's having a bad day and you get stopped for a broken tail light or anything, maybe something wrong with your car, maybe your license was pulled, and we jump into emotions, not realizing that we have the odds against us because we're dealing with the law. But because we don't stop to think before we react, we wind up cussing the cop out. And a lot of times we could be in our wrong. You know, hey, we were speeding, trying to get to the plantation, you know, knowing you ain't supposed to be speeding anyway. You know, your license bad because you didn't pay your insurance or whatever. A lot of times we can be in the wrong. But because we so emotional, we upset because things ain't going right, we get pulled over for not doing the right thing. Now we flip out emotionally. What the F you pulling me over for? You know, hey, you know, and you know, you have will say, hey, I'm pulling you over because you're like, what you mean my license is, you know, and a lot of times we know, bro, I'm riding dirty, man, you know, let me just stop. Let me catch myself. Let me think about this, because the odds against me anyway. I mean, you know, if they decide to lock me up or beat me up, it's going to happen, you know. So a lot of times we have to get out of that emotional state, take ownership. Hey, you know, and I'm not saying bow down, buckle down, but hey, if you wrong is wrong and right is right. You understand what I'm saying? Take ownership. You know, maybe it can prevent some of the things that could potentially happen to you dealing with the law. If we stop being so irrational and emotional, and I'm not trying to sound like some soft punk, say, hey, you know, just go for whatever, you know. I'm saying no, stand for something or fall for anything, but at the same time, understand when the odds is against you. You know, understand when you are in your wrong, regardless of what you're dealing with. You have to accept the fact that at this point in time, it's not a time for me to try to argue or fight with you. Hey, I'm wrong. I own it. Okay, where are we going with this? You know, let's move forward. You follow what I'm saying?
Yes, I 100% when a person is wrong.
Yes, one person's wrong.
So when black folks are right,
mm-hmm.
that apply. What you're saying is applied. A lot of times we're right.
Yes, sir.
We're being profiled, or but you stopping me from nothing. But like you said, we have to still be careful with our emotions, because they wait for something, an excuse to blow our behinds away.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? We could be in the right and just know we in the right, stand on our right. But and we the only, and this sickens me, brother and sister. It's like we're the only people that have to be tutored and counseled like this.
Yes, sir.
On how to act.
Make sure you're emotional. You're not emotional. Make sure you don't get loud. We're the only people that have to go through that. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about when we're right.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And I just got a little emotional.
Yeah. The thing is that we always think we're right, even when we're wrong.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Yeah, man. So, yep, it can save you. What you talk about, it can save your life if you stop, right or wrong, or be able to manage your emotions, control your emotions. It can save your life.
Yes, sir. So I just and that's just like I said. I mean, to sum it up, it's basically think before we react. Don't let your emotions supersede your intelligence. If you're right, you got might. If you're wrong, can't be strong, right? So, I mean, it just goes to say, man, I mean, we have to find some balance. I mean, at this point, getting older, even myself, and I'm learning. I thank God for my queen, because she's able, and it's very important for us to find somebody and not just assume who's good for us, but ask questions. Once again, like I said, we get involved based on emotions, what they could potentially do for us financially, physically, but we don't think about the mental. And where I'm at in my life, there's no such thing, too many questions, because if we don't ask the questions, then all we have to go off of is our emotional state, right? But if we ask the questions, well, what was your childhood like? What was it like growing up in your home? What was your mother like? What was your father like? We get to build, something based on an intellectual conversation. Say, hey, I can see that person being right for me. I can see us building together. So that's where I'm at now, with the mistakes I've made in my life, in relationships, in and out of relationships, based on loneliness and so on and so on, as I explained earlier on the onset. Now it's time to deal with the intellectual part, ask questions. Hey, give an understanding. Hey, this is where I've been. This is where I'm not trying to go. I'm not trying to deal with this relation based off of, I need somebody, because I feel lonely. But, I understand that, a good man and a good woman brings balance to the universe. So I'm here to say, let's build on intellectual. What can we do business wise, financial wise? I mean, what can we establish? What are you looking to do down the road? It's all about, hey, it's the mental thing now. Hey, yes, we in love, but that's just a portion, because it's more to it than just being in love. I got to know we're going down the same path. We might have two different perspectives of where we're going, but we're going down the right path. So whatever you bring to the table, it don't have to be the same as me, but it has to be somewhat identical in order for us to travel the same path of achievement, of growth, of financial, of political, whatever. We got two different understandings of leadership and teaching, but where we're on the same level intellectual, saying, hey, this is how much we need to save. This is how much we need to spend. This is the things we need to do to maintain what we have intellectually. It's not, hey, I never had this, Isaiah. So that's where, and I'm gonna close on that note. That's where we need to be as Black people, with balance and understanding, using the mind more so, using, hey, I'm so broken, I need love. You're gonna love me, please love me. So it's getting into the mind and it's trying to establish what's going on up there. Because if you don't know what's going upstairs, where are we going? I don't know what you're thinking. I don't even know where we're going, because the communication, we don't know how to communicate. We know how to cry every night, but we don't know how to communicate to get through the hard times. So, I just wanted to close on that one, of that balance, that Black balance, that Black love on the intellectual level and not on the emotional level. Stop and think. Don't let your emotions supersede your intelligence. That's where I'm at. And I'm pretty much done there. You have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I got 2 hours I want to hold y'all for. No, I'm joking. Yeah, Queen Amari.
Yes, go ahead, honey.
I wasn't gonna say anything. I think I was listening to the end of what you were saying about the whole police issue. I think that most of us, we do get into trouble because we don't know how to close our mouth and listen. We got to learn how to listen and think. We get ourselves into more trouble than we can actually get out of. I could think about myself being pulled over years ago because I was a speeder. I sped everywhere I could go. Anytime I got behind the wheel, I would speed. But it's not like I wasn't getting pulled over. It's just that when you talk about the whole emotion aspect, I couldn't make myself cry on the spot. I could make myself cry and get out of tickets right on the spot. But I can't do that anymore. So now I just have to take whatever comes to me. But just saying that it never crossed my mind to be scared of being stopped by the cops back then. It never crossed my mind. But now I'm terrified every single time. Even if we're passing cops, I'm looking to, in the mirror, trying to make sure they're not coming behind us. Even though we're not doing anything wrong, it just makes me nervous. And and it's not the fact that I'm Black, it's just that I don't trust cops. That's just what it is. That's all I have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think quiet as kept. You don't trust cops because you're Black. White folks and Chinese don't go to deal with that. Undercover because you Black. Don't tell her I said that, y'all. But it's key, because not only do we get emotional sometimes, you may be right or you may be wrong, but when it comes to us, it could be dangerous in both ways. And the police officer, when it comes to Black people, I'm going to be specific.
They're terrified too.
Exactly. They approach us with emotions, not intellectually or with intelligence. You know what I'm saying? Emotionally. And two emotional people, somebody's going to jump off first. And usually
it's us.
Well, I want to say jump off. Someone who able to delete you.
Yeah, true.
You know what I'm saying? What's the other word? Unlife you. So
right.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Keeping it real.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. So this was a great conversation on tonight, and like I shared earlier, brother and sister, that not share with Brother Tybidi. that is a topic that can never be exhausted.
Yes, sir.
It sounds like a simple topic: emotions, and intelligence. It sounds simple, but if it was that really simple to have that balance, like you're talking about, you know, I mean, people's in jail. I'm talking about. I ain't just talking about. I'm not talking about innocent people. You got 2 million people in jail. A lot of them were innocent, right? A lot of them did stupid stuff. They caught up in their emotions, drove them to do this, drove them to do that, drove them to do this, take somebody out, whatever it may be. So that this topic sounds easy, sounds simple, but a lot of people ain't got it.
Yes, sir.
That balance. I got one question before you leave. Do you feel that somebody could be, and I heard the word balance, I just want to throw it out there anyway. Somebody could be overly intellectual or using their intelligence, or overly emotional?
Yes.
Have to have one, but don't have the other. Have this one, but don't have that one. I mean,
there are a lot of people. There are a lot of people that have a lot of street sense, a lot of book sense, and not enough street sense. So it's definitely possible for one to have more than they need of the other.
Okay. All right. Well, brothers and sisters, I hope that you got. I don't know who's on.
Yes, sir.
I see some names here. I don't know if they're still on. I see a brother, Jeffrey. Brother Jeffrey, you still on? Appreciate you coming on. Sister Tracy. And then my thing just cut off. Brother Chris in the house. He's not coming on. One comment, but we thank y'all for coming out.
Yes, sir.
Brother. Okay, brother Wadada. Okay, Rashid. Yeah, I know I owe you a call, my brother. I owe you a call. Brother Rashid, appreciate you.
Yes,
all right,
sir.
Brothers and sisters, we thank you for tuning in on tonight. And we thank Queen Amari and Brother King Tybidi for sharing the material with us on tonight. I got something out of it, made me think about a lot of different things. And even some things I'm dealing with right now. It's not like life or death or anything like that, but it just reminds me to don't get caught up into your emotions, use your intelligence, have that balance. And so I appreciate that on tonight. And brother and sister, you have any closing remarks before we leave up out of here? I'll allow you to do that. Once again, thank you all for tuning in. We pray that you would share this platform with other people. Let them know that we do have a heartbeat. And you can join us even on Sundays. All right. So put the information down that you got to get on tonight. You know what I'm saying? And tap in and tune in on Sundays. All right. And hope to see you again. Brother and sister, you want to make some closing remarks?
I just wanted to say thank everybody for joining and tuning in to see us. And I hope you learned something tonight. Use your intelligence instead of your emotions, one before the other. It could save your life.
Yes, sir. I said once again, yes, we want to thank everybody for coming out and joining. And we do look forward of doing more, you know, of these conversations, because we all are in the process of growing, learning to have balance in our life outside of emotions and intelligence. So we look forward to doing a little more, you know, with Anye Brile, the man, God has unchained him. So we look more. And like you said, Sunday, we do share this platform, God in Action Ministry. Please, 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 if you're not doing nothing else, if you've got your dinner in the oven on Sundays, come out 12 o'clock, God willing, and check us out. We share the content every Sunday. Log in, support. We look forward to it. And the more you support, the more it encourages us. And even if not, we have an assignment to do. So wherever you're there, we'll be there. But come out on Sundays and support our teacher, Anye Brule, and get something out of this. And maybe one day we can collaborate. I mean, we can do something together, you know. Come out, learn something. We can learn from each one, reach one, teach one. Ashe.
So we thank you. And as those of y'all It may look like this is easy going live. You know what I'm saying? It's not as easy as it look.
No, sir.
You try it one day. I'll invite you on. If you got some material, something to say, I'll invite you on. See if it's how easy it is.
Yes,
All right.
sir.
It ain't as easy as it look. We thank them for their confidence and their courage and the material that they have shared with us on tonight. And I'm gonna leave out of here. We're gonna leave out of here the way we came in, with Hotep, which means peace, and Amandala, which means power. Power to the people. Our time is up. Once again, we hope to see you again. All right. Let's give our brother and sister one more beautiful black hand. Okay, brothers and sisters, we'll talk to you. Y'all can see your way out, or when we take y'all out.
We got it.
Okay.
All right.
Hotep, y'all. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for coming on.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hotep.
All right, brothers and sisters, thank you. Thank you. And like I said, we hope to see you again. And you have a beautiful evening. Time's up, Hotep.